Hey everyone. Ever have one of those days where, a song pops into your head at just the perfect moment, like it's speaking directly to you?
Hmm.
Well, get ready to dive into a story that takes that feeling to a whole new level.
Oh, that sounds good.
We're unpacking Lyrically Speaking. It's this really clever short story
Right.
where classic rock lyrics, they aren't just like background noise.
Yeah.
They're practically the character's love language.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's fascinating to me about this story, is how the author uses these really familiar lyrics
Right.
to tell this story about escapism.
Yeah.
And it's all set against this really specific time and place, late 1970s New York City.
And let me tell you, the story paints such a vivid picture of the city back then.
Oh, yeah.
Our main character, Bruce, he's a rock radio DJ, totally living for the music scene.
Makes sense.
But you know what? Even with all that energy buzzing around him,
Yeah.
the story makes it clear, like right away, this guy is burned out.
Oh, wow.
Like late night shows, even later nights out,
Oh, I see it.
the constant pressure to be on,
That burnout, the late 70s New York, it wasn't unique to him. I mean, the city was a pressure cooker back then.
Oh, for sure.
Grappling with economic uncertainty, there was a lot of social change.
Yeah.
That tension, it's palpable in the story.
It really is.
And it's fascinating how the music of the time, from punk to new wave, it reflects that same anxious energy.
It's almost like you can hear the city's soundtrack just by reading Bruce's story.
Totally.
And speaking of soundtracks,
Mm-hmm.
the way he uses song lyrics to express himself, it's both humorous and kind of heartbreaking at the same time.
Interesting.
It's like he's trying to articulate his own feelings, but through the words of these rock legends. You know what I mean?
And that's where the story's genius lies, I think.
Yeah.
It captures how music can be both a shield and also a connector at the same time.
Definitely.
We see Bruce using lyrics to deflect uncomfortable questions.
Oh, yeah.
Like when he jokes about not being a psycho killer.
Which, by the way, made me laugh out loud because who hasn't used a little humor to downplay their own anxieties, right?
Exactly. But it also makes you wonder,
Oh, totally.
is Bruce really on the verge of a breakdown here? Or is it just playful banter
Yeah.
fueled by the city that never sleeps?
That's the question.
The story keeps us guessing. It's so clever.
And, as Bruce tries to outrun this burnout, he takes his boss's advice
Right.
and he decides, you know what? I'm going to escape the concrete jungle for a while.
I've been there.
He hops on a plane, channeling his inner John Denver with a very appropriate, leaving on a jet plane.
It's such a classic escape narrative, isn't it?
It is.
Leaving the old life behind, even if it's just temporarily
Right.
seeking solace in a change of scenery.
Yes.
In this case, sunny California,
Yeah.
and the promise of a much more laid-back vibe.
So picture this. Bruce lands in L.A., crashing with his old buddy Stan,
Creep.
who's traded in the grit of New York for
Yeah.
the chill vibes of Santa Monica.
Nice.
Now, Bruce intends to lay low.
That's
Come on, this is a story about the power of music.
Right.
Naturally, things take a turn towards the unexpected.
And this is where the story's use of music, it kind of shifts gears, I think.
Oh, totally.
It's no longer just background noise.
Yeah.
It becomes the driving force of the narrative.
Yes.
Almost like Bruce is thinking and speaking in song lyrics.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
When Stan convinces him to hit up this bar called the Ore House,
Okay.
Bruce is hesitant at first,
Yeah.
claiming, I need a break from the party scene.
Right.
But we all know how persuasive
Oh, yeah.
those friends can be.
And it's interesting because even as Bruce is like trying to resist,
Right.
you can almost feel the pull of the music
Totally.
drawing him in.
Yeah.
You remember how he describes himself at the bar?
Yeah.
Quoting Talking Heads. I'm tense and nervous and I can't relax. Ooh, good one. He's still got that city energy like crackling around him.
Totally. But there's also this sense that maybe, just maybe, he's starting to let go a little,
Okay.
especially when he tries to chat up this woman at the bar,
Oh, no.
albeit in the most awkward way possible, quoting the Eagles. Which song?
One of these nights.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
Not exactly the smoothest move.
No, not at all.
But what's fascinating to me is how those lyrics, which are often about, longing and desire,
Mm-hmm.
they become his way of expressing all these emotions
True.
he might not be able to articulate directly.
It's like he's speaking a different language.
Right, yeah.
One that's both familiar, but
Mhm.
also a little bit offbeat.
I like that, yeah.
And you know what? That awkward attempt to connect.
That leads to a pretty crucial turning point in the story because, well, let's just say he doesn't stay at the workhouse for very long.
Okay.
Okay, so remember that slightly awkward encounter at the bar I just mentioned?
Yeah.
Let's just say it doesn't exactly end well for Bruce.
Oh, no.
And he decides, you know what? I am done with this whole bar scene.
It's like he needs a real escape, right?
Yeah.
Not just a change of scenery,
Right.
but like a total shift in mindset.
Exactly. And that's how he ends up on the Pacific Coast Highway,
Okay.
behind the wheel of a car,
Nice.
open road ahead of
I
him.
love it.
Classic rock blasting on the radio, obviously.
You know that image, the open road, the wind in your hair?
Oh, yeah.
Such a powerful symbol, right?
It is.
Freedom, self-discovery. Yeah. And it's interesting how the author uses all those sensory details
Yeah.
to like mirror that change in Bruce's state of mind.
It's like you can practically feel the weight lifting off his shoulders
Mm-hmm.
with every mile he puts between himself and that disastrous night at the bar.
Totally.
He even starts picking up hitchhikers.
Wait, really?
I know. Which, I gotta say, not something I'd recommend doing in real life.
No, probably not a good idea.
But in the story, it totally adds to this whole idea of Bruce shedding his old skin, like embracing the unknown.
It's almost as if those chance encounters, total strangers,
Yeah.
they're pushing him further and further out of his comfort zone,
Right.
forcing him to confront like his own loneliness
Yeah.
and maybe even his longing for, some kind of real connection.
And speaking of connection, that brings us to the heart of the story.
Okay, here we go.
Bruce's encounter with Giannis.
Ooh, Giannis.
Now, she's not just another hitchhiker.
Okay.
She becomes this, catalyst for Bruce to finally confront all those emotions he's been trying so hard to outrun.
And what's so remarkable, right, is how their entire interaction,
I know.
it unfolds through song lyrics.
Right.
It's like they've stumbled upon this secret language
Yes.
that allows them to just, bypass all the usual small talk
Oh, totally.
and dive straight into, the deep stuff.
It's like eavesdropping on a conversation between two souls, tuning into the same frequency. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
And it all starts with Bruce, ever the music lover, introducing himself through the lyrics of, who else? Jim Croce.
Okay.
He says, like the pine trees lining the winding road, I got a name, I got a name.
Such a, simple line.
I know, right?
But in the context of their encounter,
Yeah.
it takes on this unexpected, depth.
It really does.
It's like Bruce is acknowledging his own journey, right?
Totally.
His search for identity.
Yeah.
And by doing that, it's like he's inviting Janice
Right.
to do the same.
And how does she respond?
Ooh, good question.
With a line that's, encouraging,
Right.
but also a little bit cryptic at the same time.
Interesting.
She quotes Aerosmith,
Oh,
tells him, dream on, dream until your dreams come true.
Now, is she being genuine here?
I don't know.
Is she really encouraging Bruce to hold on to his dreams?
Yeah.
Or is there, a hint of realism in her voice?
Yeah, could be.
Like she knows firsthand that, the road to those dreams,
Oh, yeah.
it can be pretty long
For sure.
and definitely winding.
Definitely winding.
It's such a, brilliantly ambiguous moment in the story, I think.
It is.
What do you think?
I think it's a bit of both, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I could see that.
There's this sense of shared understanding there,
Yeah, definitely.
They both get the allure, but also the challenges of chasing after something more.
That's so true.
And that shared vulnerability.
Yeah.
That's what I think opens the door for Bruce to finally let his guard down a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
He quotes Neil Young confessing, I want to live, I want to give.
Oh.
I've been a miner for a heart of gold.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's raw, it's honest, and so incredibly relatable, I think. Who hasn't felt like they're searching for that heart of gold?
Right, yeah.
That elusive something that will just make everything feel complete.
And in that moment of pure vulnerability,
Yes.
Janice, she doesn't shy away.
I love that.
Instead, she offers him this lifeline.
What does she say?
She quotes Bill Withers.
Okay.
She says, "Lean on me when you're not strong,
Yeah.
and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on."
Pure magic.
Right.
It's amazing how, a few simple words set to music, obviously, can carry so much emotional weight.
It's like they've tapped into this shared well of human experience,
It really is.
where words fail. Yeah. And only music can truly express the depth of what they're feeling.
It's true. It's true.
And that shared connection, I think it emboldens Bruce.
It does.
Because then he throws out that classic cheap trick line, I want you to want me.
Oh, here we go.
It's so direct.
Right.
So different from, his earlier kind of fumbling attempts at like flirting.
Totally. It's like the music has given him the courage to finally say what's on his mind.
Exactly.
But it's Giannis's response that really, honestly, it sends shivers down my spine.
Okay, what is it?
In this moment of shared vulnerability, she quotes Janis Joplin.
Ooh, Janis quoting Janis.
Right.
Yeah.
She says, take it. Take another little piece of my heart now, baby.
Wow.
It's raw, it's powerful, and it leaves you, like, breathless.
It's such a, perfectly imperfect, expression of connection.
It really is.
These two characters.
Yeah.
Brought together purely by chance.
Yeah.
Finding solace and strength in this shared language of music.
It gets beautiful.
And that's where the author leaves us,
No way.
with that single word. Smile.
Oh, my gosh. Talk about a cliffhanger.
Right.
But also, what a perfect note to end on.
It really is.
We're left with this lingering sense of hope, right?
Yeah, totally.
This possibility that maybe, just maybe, music has brought these two lost souls together. That ending, man, it really gets you thinking about how we all, curate our own life soundtracks,
It's true.
We have playlists for road trips, for breakups, for those moments when you just need a good cry, Music, it becomes this powerful reflection of our own inner world.
It's true. And sometimes, like what we see with Bruce, those internal soundtracks, they kind of spell out into our, real-life interactions.
Yeah.
We connect with people through, shared musical taste.
Yeah, for sure.
We use song lyrics to, express the things that we can't quite find the words for.
Totally. It's like music just gives us permission to be more vulnerable, more like ourselves,
Yeah, yeah.
And isn't that what Lyrically Speaking is really all about?
I think so.
This beautiful and sometimes kind of messy search for connection in a world that, let's face it, often feels pretty isolating and overwhelming.
Absolutely. And it's a story that reminds us, I think, of the power of being vulnerable. The magic of those chance encounters.
Oh, for sure.
And, just the enduring ability of music to kind of bridge those gaps between us.
And you know what? It's also, incredibly funny at times.
Oh, yeah.
That scene at the bar.
Okay.
Where Bruce whips out the Eagles lyrics.
Yeah.
I think we've all been there, right?
Totally.
Trying to use a song to, make a connection, maybe with mixed results.
To say the least.
Speaking of the right song, one of the things I love most about this story is the sheer range of music.
Tell me more.
That the author weaves into this story. It's like we're taken on this incredible journey through the history of rock and roll. From John Denver to Janis Joplin, with a little, talking heads thrown in there for good measure.
And that eclectic mix, right?
It's great.
I think it really highlights just how universal music is, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
No matter what your taste is.
Yeah.
There's a song out there for you.
There really is.
That can speak to you, that can transport you to a specific time and place.
For sure.
It can evoke, just this whole range of emotions.
It's true. And when you share those musical experiences with other people, it creates this bond.
Oh, yeah.
That's really hard to describe, but it's incredibly powerful.
Totally.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on Lyrically Speaking, I want to leave you with this. What songs make up your life's soundtrack?
Ooh, good one.
What lyrics have become anthems for all the different chapters of your journey?
I love that.
And more importantly, who are the people that you share those musical moments with?
So good.
Because sometimes, honestly, all it takes is a shared love of a song.
That's right.
To spark a connection that can last a lifetime.
Beautiful.
Thanks for listening, everybody.